In my head I may not know what I feel down in my soul. With my eyes I may not see the fire that burns inside of me.
Our family was a mom named Ramona and her son Aaron, who does not like to be called Aaron.
His name is Pee-wee, which was a nickname he got when he was a kid. He also got it tattooed on his arm, which was pretty weird that you get your nickname tattooed all down your arm.
I felt like I had a connection with Pee-wee in a way, because like he opened up to me and the rest of the group. But Ramona, she was like quiet and shy, I guess.
Pee-wee was very interactive, liked to hang out with us, wanted to be there and help. He almost helped me and Rob straighten a piece of sheetrock with a hammer. We were like...
When he was 14, he had a big fall and had traumatic brain injury from that fall. And he couldn't use the whole left side of his body. And it was hard for him to get around and didn't have anybody to talk to. And it was like God put us there to talk to him.
He's going to stick with me a while. He's got a lot of challenges, and I just can't help but think what it's like for him to be in the situation he's in with his disabilities and his isolation. But these kids went out of their way. They were so good to him. They talked to him, they interacted with him, they made him sandwiches. We took him out to eat one day, and they were helping him get his food. The picnic, they helped him through the line and got his food and talked. I mean, just really, I just loved watching them with him.
He can't really go out much, and he can't drive, and he doesn't really get out and have a social life, so I felt really nice that we were able to talk to him and give him somebody to talk to and somebody that actually cared about what he did every day.
Nick told us that Pee-wee would usually tell the story by the end of the week once he felt comfortable with you. But that night, he told us the story about how he lost movement in his arm and had that traumatic brain injury that night that he met us, because he felt so open with us that he wanted to share it with us.
Our site was difficult to access, first of all. We had to hike up the driveway because you couldn't get to it in the van, and so it made moving materials and supplies up there pretty difficult.
We were repairing a bathroom, and I have to say that bathroom is by far the nicest room in their house. Really, really rough living conditions. And Pee-wee came in there and he would say, "Oh, this is going to be the warmest room in my house this winter." I mean, they were, and Ramona, who was not very talkative, really didn't say a lot, came in there today and said, "I can't tell you how much I appreciate this." She said, "This is awesome." I mean, their neighbor came over to see it. I mean, just to have a room, because they don't have a lot.
The previous teams had worked to get it framed in, and we finished some of that, and then we're able to drywall and mud it.
We had to finish up the flooring. We had to put up a bunch of nailers and fix insulation, and then we put sheetrock up and mudded it.
We put insulation in, and then we did sheetrock and mudding, which I was not a fan of because I'm not very good at it. But I did learn a lot of stuff.
And I hate drywall. And we had to mud it after that. I'm not good at construction stuff, so this part doesn't excite me at all. I was the keeper of the dogs and the keeper of the kitten sometimes. But Dakota and Tara, I know they're the youngest, but they taught me a lot about the construction. Like, I didn't lead them in the construction, they led me.
I saw love in action with the way that the different churches came together. I think it was evident from our meeting tonight and the willingness of everyone to share that people came here because they wanted to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and they came with the right attitude, and it was a good week community-wise, I thought.
Rob reminds me of my granddaddy, the way he cares for other people, and he's selfless, and it's like, but it's not like planned out, like detailed selflessness. It's just like spur of the moment, like trying to, like not even, it's like involuntary selflessness.
We all pitched in different ways. Because like one day Claire made Whitney and Rob their lunch and Pee Wee his lunch, and like one day she basically did all the lunch. That's why I saw love in action. Because like she put all the love and caring Claire has into making lunch and stuff.
You really see how much of a difference it makes whenever people take the time to care. I liked how we were able to take something and make it into something better out of love and helping other people.
You show love in what you do, so everything you do needs to be like you're loving them, and you don't want to do things for the wrong reason. You want to do something important for the right reasons, and that's why we're all here this week, is because God wants us to be here and to help out these families.
We worked for a single older gentleman this week named Larry. Super nice guy. He was retired from coal mining, drove a coal truck his whole life. So he had his stuff together and was happy being out there in the holler by himself.
I've been coming a long time. He's one of the very few people over the years that I've worked for that kind of jumped right in there with us when we were moving things around. He really took pride in what he had. Like you could tell that. And as the week went on, he got more and more involved in the project.
He hadn't told any of the other groups that he had a girlfriend, so that was kind of a big deal that he told us that. And he liked to dance, and coming from like the shy person that he was from day one to like today, him dancing and cutting jokes with us and telling us that he loved us. It was just crazy how like God worked through him.
I was just amazed how he actually wanted to help, because I didn't think that he would go out of his way to help. I was pretty impressed that he also went out of his way to try to get to know us individually, because I didn't really think that he would try, because Mary Kate got back and she said that he was really shy and reserved, and I didn't think that we would also crack open that shell.
We got to bond a lot over the picnic we had Thursday, which was a very amazing experience to have with a man that I've only known for not even a week.
But as the week went through, when the picnic came on, he started to dance in front of us. He told us that his secret was dancing. He said that he had a girlfriend for about 6 years, and that him and her dance a lot to country music. And it was pretty cool that he opened up to himself and told us about his secrets and stuff.
There was multiple projects that had been started. Nothing had been finished. We did subfloor in one room. We did Luan in several rooms. We put down laminate and VCT, trimmed out all 3 rooms.
We trimmed out 3 rooms, the living room, the kitchen, and the laundry room. And then they asked us to install new kitchen countertops and sink and plumb in the sink.
They had asked us to finish up the kitchen, so we installed new countertops, sink, plumbed everything in. Today was nice. We got to get all his appliances back in, move all his furniture around, and kind of started to make his house look like a house again.
Finishing the countertops, which I helped Will, so I thought that was pretty fun. I mean, that was the highlight right there. I had like my own project and I could see my progress on it. That was really fun.
Well, I think God makes us like show love in different ways. Maybe it be for sharing, giving, and in this case it was building around this guy's house to make it look like this amazing house that no one else has, and we're just showing love by giving to him and just doing what God would want us to do.
I saw love in action with my team and how they continued to persevere with Larry as far as really getting to know him, and tried each and every day just a little bit harder to get him to break out of his shell and really get to know him, which I thought was really cool. Out of a group of teenagers, they could have easily just given up, and it was a single man. There were no children on the site. There was, and just said, well, he's quiet. I'm not gonna, but they did a great job. They sat with him for probably an hour at the picnic and just talked the whole time and asked questions and tried to get to know him.
He kind of came out of his shell because we also took the initiative to come out of our shells and our comfort zone. I thought that was pretty awesome too.
On Friday, we finished our project early, and so we had the opportunity to kind of goof off the rest of the day or see if another team needed help. And so we went out to Todd and Sam's site and helped them finish up their project.
Tonight, there was other teammates helping other teams do chores and didn't have to.
I think I got way closer to the people in my group, and that makes me feel really happy about that.
On our family was a 4-person family. Stacy, the dad, was a logger, so he was never home and always working.
Belinda, the mother, Brittany, the daughter, who was 18, and Tyler, the boy who was 13, who was nonverbal.
Communication with him was a little hard at times, but he really warmed up to us as we got on and progressed into the end of the week, which was really cool.
He could say some things and talk to his mom, but he wasn't really able to interact with us as much as the daughter was, Brittany, and she finally opened up to us. She was a little shy at first.
I finally connected to Tyler at the house, and we kind of high-fived and talked a little bit, and it was pretty good.
And they didn't really interact with anybody in the past, and then we went in and sat in the living room with them one day. I think it was on Wednesday, and we just were like, we just want to have a conversation with y'all and try and interact, and they really opened up to us. And by the last day, which was today, we had Tyler kind of like speaking to us, which was really amazing.
The team before us redid the floors, and we were to work on the walls. So we were trying to be able to allow them to have a place to cook their food, because when we walked in, their fridge and their stove were all in their living room.
We completely demoed the walls of a kitchen, and then we hung new sheetrock and did a lot of sheetrock.
All of the insulation had went bad. It had gotten moisture in it, so we had to take all that out. Also, some of the studs in the house had become rotted from the moisture that was coming in, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that the wall was not actually being supported by anything. It was free hanging, so we had about a 6-inch gap at the bottom that was just daylight coming in.
When we ended up pulling off the original walls of the trailer, it was not connected to the floor joist, so we had to put in a new joist.
And there was a hole in the floor where we took out the flooring in the closet and made some extra space in the kitchen for them, and then we just had to patch that back up.
On the back side of the kitchen, we ended up having to cover up where a window used to be that had rotted out. They tried to patch it themselves, put some sheet metal over it, and we went in and patched it up, and were able to put some new studs in to help that out.
Although we reached a lot of obstacles throughout the week, having to do various jobs that we weren't ready for, having to secure one of the walls back onto the house and working around a hole we had to put in the floor, we still got the job done.
I think our team did great, and we collaborated well, and everybody had a good part and role in this week.
We really had a good group and good counselors and an amazing family.
The family came out on the porch with us, and so, I mean, just that small action of finally being able to interact with each other after working so hard, and like they were showing an action back instead of us just working on the site, and us like meeting in the middle and having like a small moment, that really showed me love in action.
ASP is all about relationships with the family as much as it is the construction. So there was a point in today's work where half of us were working on patching a hole in the floor and the other half were interacting with the nonverbal kid Tyler, who was really shy, and getting him to open up. So at one point we were working together as a team on the construction side just as much as we were on the relationship side.
You could really see the love that they were showing for the family and the whole project itself. And whenever we were able to sit down and hang out with the family and really talk to them and understand where they were coming from, it meant a lot.
When we first got our assignment, we had read from previous weeks that our family had not necessarily opened up and was kind of shy towards the rest of, or the other teams that had already been with them. And our team really just took the time to go and sit with them and talk to them, and by the end of the week, we had the son out there blowing bubbles with our girls and dancing, and everybody was dancing, and he was giving high fives. The girls were laughing with the daughter. It was just a really cool thing to see between them.
We worked for the Smith family. Tammy, Leonard, Harrison, Chastity, and Morgan.
Our family was sort of not like a usual family. Like, people were coming in like all the time, and so like there was different people there like every day.
They had a lot of different people coming in and out that were involved in their situation. One of the main characters on our site, though, that was a constant was Chastity and Morgan. And Chastity is sort of a daughter-in-law of sorts to Tammy, and Morgan is her daughter.
Tammy was the homeowner, I'm pretty sure, and she had a granddaughter named Morgan who was 5 years old, and she was just like this really cool little girl. She was always like around constantly trying to help us.
The family said that she didn't really like get along, didn't really like bond with like other groups, and that they were surprised like that she would come with us to the cookout and stuff like that. That like really meant a lot to her. She was really shy at first, but then like Kayla started talking to her and she got unshy.
Morgan was the only one that helped participate and helped like work on the work site, helped us cut. She helped me cut drywall, she helped me measure, she helped me, like, she was a big help. On the picnic night, Chris made a bunch of food, and our family didn't want to come, but Morgan was the only one that wanted to come. So she came, had a good time, ate, and after we all got done, she helped us clean dishes. And then on the way back and on the way to the thing, she would talk to us in the car, and I just saw that she is like love to me, and I love her a lot. I'm gonna miss her.
It was definitely one of the rougher sites that I've ever been on. So it was tough. It was hot. We were outside in the sun, and our site had no breeze, no shade. So they were doing a lot of tough work.
I helped put underpinning on the bottom of the house and take off all the old underpinning.
We ripped out all the underpinning from under the house because it was really like damaged, and they have chickens and dogs running all over the yard, so they don't need those under their house. And then we put up new underpinning, and then they did the bathroom, but I didn't do that. So.
I've never done underpinning, so we had the entire house to do, and it was a little bit intimidating, especially because we have some new people. Nobody else had really done it, and I was sort of going blind. Chris was obviously really occupied in the room because there was so much work in that bathroom to get done.
We put in a bathtub, a sink.
We installed a bathtub. We put some flooring down, put like tiles down and stuff. We put up drywall. We painted.
The team really seemed to pick it up and flew through it. So
I had a great team. I loved them all. They worked really good. Victoria was the best hard worker on the team, probably. Her little mighty little self is pretty cool.
I really liked my team. They were pretty great. They like believed in me, and that's pretty cool. They were like, yo, she's old enough to handle this. Let her figure out her own way, and I'll assist when she needs it.
A few times this week I've heard that like the work we're doing is, which I've known this beforehand, but like that all the work we do is God's work, and that this is His way of showing love to the people who may not in the moment feel like that they're being loved.
I was in a funk at the beginning of the week, and they were so concerned about what they could do like to get me out of it and to get me happy, and that really meant a lot to me because usually it's just so easy to ignore one person's problems. My best day that I like came out of my funk was yesterday, Thursday, and did like really good getting all the underpinning up, and we felt super like successful. And then we came back here and we all cooked together, and it was really cool being able to like work with my whole team all together and like achieve successful things from it.
I think Wednesday we ended up coming across, like we had no idea that this was back there, but we ended up coming across like this really beautiful waterfall behind the homeowner's house in the woods. And it's just really cool because that was so unexpected. Like even in some things that don't seem that great, like in the end there's something that like really is beautiful, and just you can make the best out of the worst situations, it seems like. Even though like sometimes like some things like went unexpected, like with the construction and everything, like our team got along pretty good, and it was just really fun to be around these people who I'm not usually around.
Thursday we had to go do the picnic, and we have to leave early to go cook for that. And we really didn't have a very productive few days, so I was a little bit worried about us actually finishing the project. They managed, though, to completely blow us away. We went in with the expectation of maybe getting one section done, and we almost completely finished the entire thing. So they had really worked hard all day. They were tired. We'd get back to the center, and then they have to work again, and they have to help us with all the food. Spent hours standing in the kitchen, hot kitchen, preparing food, cooking food, cleaning dishes for us. They get a little bit of time to go eat, and then come back and they see us in the kitchen, and they immediately go back into the kitchen to help clean up again with another dish crew. Wasn't even their job. Didn't have to do any of it. And they all stepped up to the point where they had Morgan in there washing big pans with them and turned it into an experience for her. But that for me was really cool because, you know, it's easy to go on the work site and do those things because that's why we're up here. But to come back to the center and when it's supposed to be your off time, to step up without being asked and really go above and beyond, that's the definition of love in action for me.
My family consists of a grandmother, Shan, and her granddaughter, Haley, which was 6 years old.
So this year we had the privilege of serving a wonderful grandmother and her granddaughter, Shan and Haley. They lived in a beautiful place in Flatlick, Kentucky, and just a great setting of being able to remind someone that family is important.
There was a woman named Shan, and she was really sweet and nice and very she really welcomed us into her home, and she was a really great person. And then there's Haley, and she was 6 years old, and she was just a really sweet, fun-loving girl.
Shan is a very outspoken woman. She loves to talk your head off, but at the same time, it's something you need to hear, and she's very honest, but really loving.
Shan welcomed us into her home like we were her own. She sat with us every day for about an hour each morning, and we talked about, you know, just life, nothing based on ASP or the job or anything like that.
And Shan lives next to her brother and her sister lives down the road a little bit, and there's kind of an estranged relationship there.
Even though Shan had trouble with her family, she still showed me love in a way that I haven't seen before. She reminded me a lot of my grandmother, and she nurtured us while we worked, which was, I think, really helpful to all of us. And I really appreciate, like, her spending time with us, like, and it was just genuine, so genuine.
She was very talkative, and she would talk to us even if we didn't talk back. She just talked to us about everything. And then she had a granddaughter named Haley. She was 6 years old, and she was full of energy and always wanted to do something. She had like 3 kittens that were adorable, and we had a really good time with her.
Haley drew tattoos on everybody, played with everybody, got Matthew involved, so it was a great time.
They're both together a very good family, and Haley needs Shan and Shan needs Haley, and so I think it's very important that they're together, and we got to see them interact, and which was really, really cool.
Shan was probably one of the most grateful homeowners I've ever served. Every day we made it a priority that we would come up and sit on the porch for about an hour, and we would sit and we would talk to Shan and Haley, and the kids were awesome about engaging the little girl. And then we would start our day with the work. And I think that it was great to be intentional about how can we build that relationship in the beginning, and that it carried us through the rest of the week. So the kids, they were able to see that the relationship was the most important thing we could do, but yet the work fell into place. And it made our work even better because we weren't just doing it to do a job. We were doing it because we loved Shan.
All right, the project was we had to put floor in Haley's bedroom, and then we started in the dining room, ripped up all that floor, put new floor in there, and also did the hallway.
Haley's bedroom was a dirt floor because the group before us had taken out the old floor that had rotted out from, I guess, a washout. So we went in and put new joist bands in, put joist, and put subflooring down and the flooring. And we did the same thing in the dining room and the hallway as well.
Well, the floor really wasn't that sturdy, and it was really uneven, and there were spots where you could literally fall through the floor. So we installed floor joists, and by putting that in, it really reinforced the floor and made it stronger.
I'm pretty sure we were just supposed to work on the bedroom. We got the bedroom, the dining room, and the hallway done, and I think that was just a really good accomplishment for all of us.
In Haley's bedroom, there wasn't any flooring, so we had to put in new joist and subflooring and flooring. And then while we were there, we did the dining room, so we pulled up the old flooring, and there was concrete under there, so we had to bust all the concrete, take all that out piece by piece, and then we put new subflooring and flooring. And then the next to last day, we started tearing out the flooring in the hallway, and then the last day we finished the flooring in the hallway.
Our kids were just absolutely incredible. So not only did we frame that room and put the insulation in and the flooring in on the first day, we were able to completely remove the rotten floor in the hallway and the rotten floor in the dining room. And by the end of the week, she had 3 brand new areas of her house that were not only stable and safe, but they were completely insulated, they were warm, and because we had extra help from one of the other work crews from our church, we were able to insulate her entire house and put a vapor barrier down that will protect from any moisture. So we accomplished a lot this week. The way that the kids related to one another and related to us as leaders, that there was never a chance that they would complain or moan about something they did. They were eager to help. And I think that more so than any group I've ever had, they understood what it meant to serve. And boy, they served well.
I think I saw love in action through my teammates and how we just came together as one and we got the job done together. And I just think that by working together in something that's bigger than ourselves, we really displayed love in action.
Rodney was supposed to be our leader with Sam, but that didn't happen. But it was okay because we had a great fill-in, Todd, and I have never had someone to test my faith like Todd did.
Our team was awesome. They really, I don't know, they set a good example for the kid, and I think she's gonna take home and live a happy life, kind of knowing that she might can one day do the same thing that our kids are doing. So
I saw love in action definitely with our team. We worked together really well and it all went smoothly. And I also saw love in action whenever Todd filled in for Rodney's spot, because that was a very loving thing for him to do because Rodney couldn't be there, so that was really cool.
I saw love in action with, like, Todd, him coming on the trip with us. That was a loving thing that he did, and to replace Rodney. And he tested all of our faith and really got us thinking about a lot of stuff.
I think one of the most loving things that you can do is to sacrifice for one another. And a huge sacrifice was from our homeowner, that Shan would allow us to come into her home and that we would invade her space. And every step of the way, she was thankful. I mean, I can't believe how much you've accomplished today. I can't believe you did this. You guys are absolutely amazing. And through her sacrifice, we were able to soak up just her absolute affection.
I drove around all week to every site that our church did, and even a couple that other churches had, to deliver supplies, pretty much just to make sure that they could do the work they needed to do. A lot of the stuff either wouldn't fit in the van, or they wouldn't need until noon, or sometimes we even had to go back to the hardware store to get extra. And this was my first year doing that. I've only ever been a youth on the trip before. And so it was really cool getting to see every site and not just your own. You know, you hear about what everybody else did and their families, but I kind of got to meet all of them and get a look at exactly what was going on.
The one that comes to mind is actually a little girl from another church's work site named Brianna. On Monday we had to drop off some drywall or something there, and I walked in and this little 6-year-old girl runs up to me and she says, "We're gonna be friends." And I said, "Heck yeah, we are." And so we stayed there for like 15 minutes and we played hide and go seek, and she was super excited to just hang out. And I'd kind of forgotten about it. And then on Thursday at the picnic, she runs into the cafeteria and she sees me and she like full on sprints and gives me a hug, and we hung out. And I had like 50 million slow motion videos of her running around on my phone because she would take them and then cackle at them for like 20 minutes. But that was really cool because when I think about God's love, I think unconditional, and she didn't know anything about me and she had no reason to love me the way that she did, but she did, and it was really cool, and I'm really glad I got to meet her this week.
I think something else that the church needs to know is that Memorial has a special group of adults and a special group of young people. I can't tell you how many times I was amazed at the quality of the youth workers. People that I've known for a long time and people that I met for the first time absolutely blew me away with the way that they care for these young people. And they have shaped these young people into be amazing people.
It's been 4 years since I've been on this trip and 4 years since I've been a part of the youth, and this is my first year back as an adult. And just coming back as an adult, the work that these adults put into the kids and the work the kids give back to their adults and the devotion between the two of them, it's an awesome relationship they have, and I'm glad to be back a part of it.
It was really cool for me to have Todd here and Chris, because it's been, honestly, I think a trip like this where it's just us, no one else, just the siblings, it's been, I can't even remember the last time we were able to do that. So to have that with the ups and downs of siblinghood, but it was so special, and it was really cool too to see Todd in his element, you know, just being himself.
This week was special because two of my children were here, and then Luke was able to come visit, and we missed G because he's been here the last 5 years, and it was really hard for him to not be able to go this year.
It was a good first trip because of all the people and how like we got along and we connected, and how I made closer relationships with people.
You know, whenever they do the youth Sunday speeches every year, and every year everybody said something about ASP and how it changed their life, and I wanted to see what it was like. I was really excited before I came, and I had a lot of expectations, and I wasn't let down, and it was really great.
This is my 4th year on ASP, and it just keeps getting better. Different experiences, different teams, and it's always an adventure.
It's my first year being a leader, and I couldn't ask for a better trip. You know, everything really went well. So definitely want to come back next year and do the same thing.
I second guess going on the trip because like I haven't told a lot of the leaders that, because I know it's like, I guess, surprising, but I had a rough year. Like, it was very rough, and I feel like I got in a low spot for a while, and I didn't know. I felt like I didn't belong here for a while. Like, I didn't belong with the youth group anymore. I didn't belong at school. I was just floating, and I feel like God attempted to, like, take the reins and pull me in this week by coming.
Yesterday I was thinking about, before I went to bed, I love doing stuff like this just to help people, and I was thinking about it, that I think I want to become a minister.
Very cool. I know I'm better for spending a week with this youth group, so thank you for this opportunity, and Rodney, thank you for letting me come, and I thank Chris for organizing it, and for the many people that donated to make this trip happen. So it was a great week.
Against the wall, you're not alone.